Hello there, this is Brandon from Galaxy Dock Market. Today is April 27th, Sunday, about 7:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as I bring you this market analysis. And I'm going to keep it simple for my title, and it is just that. There's a lot of earnings that are coming out. There's a relief rally in process that we talked about in the past weeks. And so the title is Stock Market Analysis for April 27th to May 2nd, 2025. The reason why I have 27th, which is Sunday, is that I want to include the gold and silver market that will open today when the futures markets open. And I think there's going to be a significant opportunity for those of you that don't have any positions on either physical gold and silver or even on the futures market, that there may be a entry opportunity this Sunday night when the futures market opens. Anyways, with that having said that, I want you to read my disclaimer, pause it, read it. If you agree, please move forward. And of course, we are active on x.com/galaxy.market. And thank you for all the followings that you've been giving us. And we're trying to build this channel. And so check us out. There's some great content. Of course, I'm increasingly going to be posting all of my videos on x.com, and of course subscribe to us on YouTube. That is not our primary channel anymore, and of course consider joining our membership. Email us at coachbrandon@protonmail.com, and there's some specials that we have going on, trying to see if you guys want to join our alerts group. Okay. And then, of course, let's talk about this holiday schedule because we have some holidays coming up. We just got through Easter, and the next obvious holiday, and generally for those of you who are short-minded, need to understand that the Memorial Day on May 26th is closed, and that's going to be holiday shortened week. And generally, those weeks are going to be a grinding sideways, very little action to a moving higher type of action. And then, of course, Juneteenth is coming up. And that's also a market holiday. Didn't used to be in the past years, but this is a market holiday on June 19th. Okay, so that's public service announcement. And then, of course, this is from our Easter picture, but I thought I'd reuse it because he's so cute. All right, so guys, gold and silver is warning. Despite the relief rally, gold and silver, gold has hit 3509 to be exact, before pulling back pretty sharp, but you would expect that fast in, fast out. Silver has been just building energy to move higher, has not done anything, but I'm going to say it right here. Gold and silver, see gold and silver right here, are warning us that all is not well in the stock market or in the economy. It is warning us that there is recession headed our way. And so watch the gold and silver action. I believe silver is about to break out. Okay, and so I want to say that for posterity purposes. And I've been saying that silver has been lagging, but watch out. Silver can make up pretty significant ground from its 33 level. And I want to talk to you about how gold and silver has, and we'll do a little more technical analysis, but when you look, and this is my main screen here, and then of course here's gold futures and then silver futures. And if you look at the numbers, 333.0 to 3330.2 versus 33.02. Okay, so this right here, and probably making it is an important thing to consider, that nothing is done by accident. 3302, 3330.02. Okay, these guys have some sense of humor. Everybody knows that this is the most manipulated market in terms of silver goes right here, and they've been suppressing it. We've been riding that wall of worry here down into these areas. And we've just been chopping sideways, right? Everyone's going, these dotted line is an inflection point that we need to get above. And this 33.228, I've been saying this big dotted line is something that's important. We keep getting above there, can't get above. But nonetheless, we're not breaking down and we're not breaking higher, while gold has gone not parabolic yet, but has moved significantly higher. So you need to pay attention to this. Okay, the things that it's happening is that there's also significant imbalances in bid and ask on the options chain, especially during the options expiration, which was this last Thursday. It was crazy. Okay, those things happen because of manipulation, and so we want to watch the gold and silver market. I think the powers that be, the big banks, have lost control of gold. Okay, but when silver wakes up, it's gonna be horrendous, and I'll tell you the correlation between also that and the Bitcoin. Okay, so um, let's just move forward. Okay, so yeah, black swans are still swimming around, despite what you think. Yes, I think that we're climbing the wall of worry, and I think we have a little bit more chopping higher type of situation, and we'll talk about that in the technical analysis. But you got to watch the U.S. dollar. There is significant weakness in the U.S. dollar. We are still below par at 100. And I believe that we're going to chop sideways a little bit as the market tries to recover. But if we cannot regain the 104.50, this market is in for a serious surprise, especially because I am thinking that gold and silver is about to start breaking out and start going parabolic. Remember, gold has not gone parabolic. Everybody says it has, and it has not. It just has been grinding higher. It's just been hitting new highs and then pulling back sharply and then moving higher again. But it is hitting all-time highs on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, on multiple days. Silver has not. Silver is stuck on 33. And if the big banks or the central banks, whoever it is doing this, loses control of the silver market, all hell's going to break loose. Okay, cryptos have bottomed, folks. If you haven't noticed that Bitcoin hit, I think about 95, 97,000. I think we're trading right around 94, 95,000 right now. XRP definitely has bottomed. It's chugging around that 215 to 220, 225 level. But this is a warning. Okay, all is not well, folks. And I'm going to show you why that is the case. And so let's look at the market technical picture. Okay, and so last week we were at extreme fear. We did come off of like the extreme fear level of 18, and then we hit 21. Now we're back at 35. Fear nonetheless. This is what I call climbing the wall of worry. Okay, now the question is the bottom in, and are we going to start on this waging bull market? Absolutely not. Okay. This is a relief rally. And, in a crashing market, there is going to be a period. Maybe it's some are days, some are weeks, some for a month or so. But we are in a downtrend. We have hit the upper trend line, as I'm just going to show you right now on this SPY long-term monthly chart. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, but this is a reversal candle. We've seen these things before, and it reversed higher right here. We've seen those. We've seen those as well, and coming down from here. Actually, when you kind of logarithmically scale this especially right here and here, look like they were bottoming candles, and they are not. Okay, so what we want to talk about is, are we going to move higher? We may once again retag that line and then start moving lower. It's not going to go down in a straight line, but you have to be cognizant of the fact that we have hyperinflated all sovereign asset bubbles, including sovereign debt. Central banks are holding most of the debt, and there's a move towards a movement away from the old money system, and that's what this whole thesis is all about. There is a new monetary system coming in place, and this is what all of this turmoil is. Okay, and just pay attention to what's going on, and not necessarily even President Trump, what he's saying, but look at what they're doing. Okay, what's happening right now is that there's some dislocations in the 10-year Treasury yield. Okay, that's the U.S. debt. This is what the Federal Reserve Bank only cares about. But you have to also look at the U.S. dollar. We talked about that, okay? And the question is, have we bottomed? And no, we haven't bottomed, but we definitely have a relief rally going on in place right now. And so what do I mean by that? Well, last week I said, hey, look, you know what? If we're probably going to hold this level, but if we don't, because there was still this buy signal, but shortly after I said that, my crush indicator gave a sell signal, and we're coming down. We're coming into this 50 ZOSMA that I use Notice the ZLSMA is still pointing upwards, and every time this divergence will play out, maybe we go a little bit lower into 24, maybe even into 22, but we will move higher. The target is above 36. The fact that we have not gone into the low 12s and 11s based on the size and amount of, grinding higher market that we've had, it's surprising and not surprising at the same time. This market has significant issues. Okay. McClellan Summation Index, however, we pointed this out that we will have a little bit of a bounce, and bounce we did. And so we have some divergences now forming on the RSI and moving, just kind of flat. But if we get above here, we're targeting the 70 level. I think McClellan Summation Index will bottom out right into this trend line. And MACD is also telling us that we have a little bit more room to run higher, maybe through this next week. Okay. Middle of the week, we'll be ready. You can't, have a bias about markets and how they're going to move, but you have to have an understanding of what the current directional regime is. And that's what we're saying. We're climbing the wall of worry here, right here. Okay. All right. So let's talk about gold. And everyone's saying that, hey, you know what? That's a reversal candle and gold is topped. And we may come back down for a few days. Okay, or a few weeks, and then start moving higher. I think this is going to play itself out. I mean, we are testing this long-term trend line before we go parabolic, okay? We have not gone to the phase 4 parabolic yet, okay? So this is realistically, here's phase 1, here's phase 2 line, phase 3. We have not started this phase 4 line, and that is the climax top. And I think that we're going to blow past 4,200 to 4,500. And if you want to know how we're positioned on this, and especially on these pullbacks, we've been adding to our positions or buying these physical gold. Okay. Now, so has gold topped for interim? Yeah. I mean, it's going to hit these historic all-time highs. We hit 3509 on the futures. Okay. And so has the gold topped? And maybe temporarily. For a few days. I believe that we're going to have a different type of an action in the next week or two. And so you have to be cognizant of all these. Basically, there's not really a lot of divergences forming on the RSI. I mean, really, you can make a case saying that it's beginning to form that. But realistically, from the bottom, okay, I mean, we're just moving up this wall of worry right now. Okay. The MACD histogram is the same. I mean, I don't see any reason to say that gold has stopped going up, but it's not gonna go up in a straight line. I mean, and look at all these. Okay. And all these pullbacks that you see, I mean, everyone said, oh yeah, the top is in, it's going to start pulling back, we're going to crash. And nothing is different here. Okay. These are avenues for you to position and make tons of money on gold and silver. Okay. Now silver, gold might look like it's top, but when you look at the silver on the weekly, obviously it's moving in a channel right here, right? I mean, we can clearly see this channel. Okay. Sometimes we go up, sometimes we go down. If the gold is either going to break down and start going into this 25 level, or we're going to break out of this trend line and start getting above that pesky 33.224 level, that is the level that is important. We got to get above this 35 level. Once we get there, I think we're going to make short work of these 40s in no time. Gold can explode much, much higher. I think that there is a possibility in 24 to 48 hour span that gold is going to start hitting, and not gold, I'm sorry, silver. I'm talking about silver. Oh my God, it's early in the morning. It's about, I don't know, 4:30 a.m. when I started making this video all weekend. So somewhere between 68 to 85 in a short period of time, maybe within a week, or shorter, is in the cards, folks. All right, keep an eye on this. All right, so U.S. dollar. Okay, U.S. dollar is right now. It's got a little bit of a reversal tail candle from its short-term uptrend move, trying to regain this 100 par level, and that is a battle, folks. That is a battle. MACD is showing some divergence, looking like it wants to move higher. And the MACD histogram is saying that there is a divergence between that and the price. The price is obviously saying that, hey, look, we have a hard time getting into this volatility box. Okay, what I mean by that volatility box is a major price area that it wants to either stay below or above. If it makes it into here, then yeah, we'll definitely move into this 20 SMA and then target that uh, 50 SMA, possibly getting all the way up into, remember, there's an inversion of the 200 SMA right now. This is the 200 SMA. It's craziness. Watch the divergence in price and momentum indicators. And but if the price basically stalls out as the momentum goes higher, it's just working off excess buy orders, and it's just going to work through them. Okay. So US dollar being below 104.50 as denoted right here is a significantly terrible terrible thing for us to be looking at. Okay. It's a indication of devaluation of the dollars, that the world is moving away from US dollar as the reserve currency, as I've been harping on for the last couple of years, that process is happening. All right. And I still stand behind the fact that Trump is preparing the United States for a bankruptcy. All right. We have untenable debt. All right. And there are several ways you can flip that switch, and one of it involves gold. A lot of it is the crypto reserves that he's talking about. So we have to pay attention to what's going on, right? 10-year yield. This is what the Fed cares about. The Fed is in trouble because 10-year yield is on a downward trajectory that no one can stop. RSI is showing weakness, and the MACD is basically showing also weakness. So I think that right now it's in a downward trajectory, but we are still above this 40.22, even all the way down to 40.75. What Fed wants to do is keep the 10-year yield below 38.5. I know Trump is telling them to lower rates, but lowering rates is going to have a significant, maybe short-term positive effect, but it's just going to exacerbate the inflation. And so my message to President Trump is, what the hell are you doing? Are you trolling like you do, or what's going on with your this concept of strengthening American economy and helping the workers? Inflation is not the way to do that. Okay. So let's see what's going on with S&P 500 technical analysis, and then review past and present stocks. So that means that I need to bring this chart down here. And we'll start with a SPY. Okay, so this is the daily on the SPY, and this is stock charts that I use, and with some of my proprietary indicators that I use. Or stock chart is great for mocking things up, not so great for real-time trading, right? But for analysis, it's fantastic. So now we have a SPY that bottomed over here, and now we're kind of coming into this volatility box, overhead resistance, into this orange box area. It can extend all the way up to 561. And this red dotted line is really the line in the sand. Can this relief rally take us above into that area? We're going to get close. I mean, I think we're going to take out this 555 this week, maybe into the 561. And I think that's really where we want to start looking to be adding. Once the downside move happens, it's going to happen pretty fast. Again, you got to pay attention to what gold and silver is doing. If gold and silver continues to move higher, which I believe it will, especially tonight when the futures market opens, it's going to be significant. Okay, so we've got that, and so silver has, SPY has been moving higher. MACD has been telling us all of that. We have this crush indicator forming, and so the crush that I'm talking about, and I know that on my trading view I have my other crush indicator that encompasses all of these. No, it's not available for public, but it is available for analysis in my trading group. Okay, so this crush indicator is saying that we have a little bit more upside going. You can see it on the MACD histogram. All of those are telling us that there is a little bit more room to move higher, and accumulation distribution has definitely gone to a point where we're beginning to break out of this downtrending line. I mean, we're still at the top end of the range, but we were having some sell-off going on. Is it going to be a little blip, and then maybe even out right in line with this peak right here, and then start moving down again? The average true range is beginning to decrease. So basically we had this expansion and now decrease. This is telling you that there may be the short-term trend is now changing from uptrend to the downtrend. So keep an eye on that. That was the daily. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly is showing you that, yes, there is a relief rally underway. I mean, we were significantly oversold, and now we have this positive divergence as we're moving higher, and it started to kind of warn us over the last few weeks. And so here is the kind of the overhead resistance denoted by these little tiny red dots. If we do move higher, I think that we can, again, go into this 20 SMA, and then we'll figure out what's going on there. We just got to let it happen. I think those are the couple of targets. There may be some long-sided opportunities on the SPY, definitely. And then options prices are premiums are coming down, so that's good news. Okay, but that only happens during relief rallies. These it just resets it, and so you short these rips, right? But right now, there's an opportunity for us to ride this up higher. So we'll, in our group, we're going to be looking for that this week. Okay, we play both sides of the fence. All right, O'Reilly reported earnings. Yes, they're worried about the tariffs. Okay, and most of their crap comes from China anyways. I think everything, when you look at it from the RSI being negatively divergent, and because we haven't moved much, and O'Reilly doesn't move that much, but they only have monthly options. So we have positions on these, and we believe, and these expires on, I think, on May 12th or May 16th, I forget. But that's when they expire. But I think the short term is that this 1303.92. Man, that's a big number for an auto parts company. But 20 SMA break of this level is going to take us right down into the 1167, and then targeting that 100 SMA. I believe there's a chance for us to get all the way down into 950 to 901 level on O'Reilly, and so we are bearish on O'Reilly. Tesla, however, reported earnings. It was horrendous. I mean, their profits down because of all the fires and all of the tariffs and everything. But as I've said, Tesla was putting in some bottoming signals, and I think there's some room to run. And so we're bullish on Tesla. I think there's significantly we can get up into these 400 to 460 level in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so. And if you want detailed analysis, obviously our group is going to get those. United Healthcare, okay, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but this is one of the best trades that we've done this year. It's still going down. United is full of a lot of COVID fraud. There's a lot of billing fraud, and unfortunately, the medical and health insurance and those establishments have lost the public trust. And not only that, but this is all about the public. Not only the fact that they're ripping people off. Americans are no longer buying health insurance because they're tapped out. Okay, and they can't qualify for Medicaid. So you know what they're going to cut? They're going to cut stuff like this. Okay, Restoration Hardware. Yes, I'm very, very bearish on Restoration Hardware, but I believe there's a bounce coming on Restoration Hardware, at least to the ADMA, I believe, to this downtrend line. And so that's another one that you guys want to look at. MACD is beginning to curl over. Histogram is telling you, okay, got to be careful. We're still early, but there's early signs that there is a short-term bottom in so that we can get up into these levels and then reestablish our shorts. Okay, it's a gift that keeps on giving. Restoration Hardware has a long way to fall, folks. Okay, Apple's reporting earnings this week, and no analysis is going to be complete without me talking about this. But the Apple is showing some positive divergence on the RSI ahead of the warnings. It has been bouncing ahead of the earnings. I think that when they report this Thursday, we can get up to about 223 level. Premiums aren't bad, but their options premiums are pretty elevated. As you can tell, but we have all of these levels that it's going to come back down on. I'm pretty bearish on Apple for now. I do believe there's going to be a short-term pop that you can short into. Okay, so this is not something that you want to front run, but there is again a slight initial long opportunity followed by shorting the rips shortly after. Okay. UPS, I am very, very bearish on. Okay, shipping is down, which is indicative of a recession. And I think Coastal Journal, you guys should check them out on X. Very good outlet, very good research. I love following them, and you might want to check out. They did make a commentary about declines in shipping from China. And UPS is no different. UPS is warning you that we're going down into this area after this earnings release. So there is a significant opportunity here. Take it as you will. Okay. And that's about it for that. Let's look at our cryptos. Let me get this crap out of the way. And then, oops. Yeah, well, yeah, you got to look at the cryptos, right? Cryptos are right here. Like I said, we're looking at. I'm very keenly looking at Shiba Inu. By the way, guys. I mean, it's just. I've been saying for a while that I think they're putting in, or maybe this was. Yeah, I think they're putting in a reverse Head and Shoulders. Just keep an eye on that. I don't like shit coins, but that's meme coins are where it's at. XRP, I think we bottomed here, and I said on these pullbacks to $1.71, even if it gets below that, even if it goes to like back to 50 cents, you gotta buy this. This is the new global reserve currency. Okay, again, we may be forming a reverse Head and Shoulders formation, and it's in the process. Bitcoin has been doing really well. I think we did bottom on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, now, here's the thing I want to talk about on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not correlated to the market. This is a safe haven asset movement while the stock market is moving higher. Okay, Bitcoin moving higher is signal that all is not well right now. Okay, so that's my public service message. Oh yeah, of course, XDC. No, I haven't given up on it. But this is the area you want to accumulate these things, right? Right here. Okay. I mean, if you don't buy it now, then you have no right to complain about it later when it's over at $10. Okay, in a year or so. All right. Earnings wise, I mean, I'm keenly watching Domino's Pizza. I think they're just gonna have a horrific type of thing. You want to look at this Cadence Bank, which is banks that are in trouble. Okay, UPS, obviously, and there's Spotify. Okay, I think UPS and Spotify is pretty good chance that Spotify is going to shit the bed again one more time. Look at Humana, okay? Humana and United Healthcare are correlated, but they've already come down a lot, but I don't think Humana is going to have any good news. I don't think they're as bad as United Healthcare, but that's coming. Caterpillar, all right? Is the global demand for construction going up or down? Are we in a recession? Something to watch. Meta is one of those things, and Microsoft, let's see how they do. We don't have any positions on them, but we're just going to watch them, okay? That's something that you might want to watch, okay? I like watching Roblox and McDonald's for insight into what's going on for the excess money that are present. McDonald's for the poor, and then Roblox for excess money. Amazon and Apple, very, very big deal. Airbnb, very, very big deal. I think we have BKNG here somewhere too. BKNG is booking.com. Okay. And then watch Chevron, folks. All right. So that's my 2 cents on this. And so what are we going to do? I mean, it's like I've talked about all of these. We talked about XRP and Bitcoin. So XRP is a real world reserve currency. We predicted pullback, accumulate. Now it's moving higher. Still not late, but would have been better if you picked it up at $1.62, right? Gold is still warning us. Silver is absolutely suppressed, but won't last long. Gold to silver ratio is at now 113.1. China and Canada still holding out on tariffs. Still haven't found resolution because China is saying there has been no bilateral talks between United States and China. So who's lying? Waiting for the market to stall and silver breakout. Last week I said gold is going to 3,400. This is a slide from last week. Just pause it and read it. Okay, we hit 35.09 and then we pulled back and we're going to move higher again. Weakness in US dollar and spiking gold is a warning. Gold is breaking out 4,000 by early May. Okay, silver will spike to 68 to 80, maybe 85. I mean, some are saying, I think it can go all the way up to 120. And some are saying about 200. Not sure about that, but this is definitely a possibility. XRP and Bitcoin is the bottom end. Long, gold, silver, VIX, XRP, and XDC. Short watch, UPS, UNH, O'Reilly. You should add Humana to that one. Long watch is Tesla, RH, and SPY temporary. I'm not saying it's like the bottom's end. This is a relief rally currently climbing the wall of worry, folks. All right, so follow me at Galaxy Doc Market at x.com. Follow us. And then, of course, share and, repost and do all that for me. I will still continue to post on YouTube but it just seems like either there's no interest there, or there's more interest in X. I'm not sure, or maybe I'm shadow banned because I tell the truth. Anyways, regardless, business inquiries. What do I mean by that? Find out how to work with me. Okay, you don't have to get into this elite level package, and we have very affordable packages where you could follow passively alerts where we have watch lists, my daily market commentary pivot levels. Okay, what I'm looking at, what we're trading, all of those are there. It's just a lot of you just want to know what I'm looking at for the week. Okay, if you want to do that, email me and find out how to do that. I am currently working on our membership site, updating that, and also updating our website, okay, which is outdated and may turn some of you off, but no, you don't have to. It is not that expensive to join my alerts group and gain value out of it. Okay, so having said that, let's get some alpha. Goodbye.